Now I have a couple of low-tech techniques for dragging those chips out. So we got to constantly keep those chips cleared. I don't have a big compressor, so I don't generally blow them out. I don't do a lot of hollowing, so I'm not set up for optimum clearing of chips. With this large opening, this is a great project if you're just starting to hollow, because you have the large opening and you can see what, stop and look inside and see what's going on inside. It makes for a good starter project for using hollowing tools. I'm going to use my handy dandy flexible light to kind of check out the bottom, and that's looking pretty good. Got to go down about another 1/4 inch and be careful to sweep across the bottom. There we look. And that's nice and flat. It looks very good. Now I'm going to start thinning the walls. And I'm going to use a slightly different tool for that. So give me just a moment to set up. Alright, now I've switched to a 3/4 inch John Jordan swan neck tool, again with a 3/16 inch cutter on it. And I suppose it's time for my normal disclaimer. This is not the only way to do this. It may not be the best way to do this, but it's the way that I do it after some practice and study. And I don't use one person's technique. I'm using a Lyle Jameson style rig, but I'm using a John Jordan tool to get where I'm going. So we're going to come in from the side and then just start nibbling away and getting the walls thinner. My goal is to get down to about maybe 1/4 inch. Alright, let's do a bit of a check here. Okay, the wall's pretty thick, but it's going down evenly. And I'm going to taper this just slightly, so the wall's going to be a little thicker here than it is at the bottom. I want to keep a lot of mass at the bottom for the purpose of this, so it'll be nice and sturdy sitting down on the shelf, not likely to want to tip over. Okay, I've got it hollowed out. Now I'm going to face this off just a little bit, clean this surface up, and round it over a little bit on the inside and outside. Then I'm going to put a bit of a detail here. So I'm going to use a bowl gouge with a scraping cut. Go very carefully at a bit of an angle. Very light cut. Okay. Now I'm going to just touch up that inside surface a bit. Round it over. Very lightly. Bring it around. We'll rest out with paper. Sanding paper. Alright. I'm going to use a scraper, I think, for that corner. I've got a V-scraper here that I'm just going to bring it up and just round that over a little bit. Actually, before I even get to that, what I'm actually going to do is I want to taper this down just a bit. So we're going to do that. Just picking up that bulge there. Use a quick cut. Cut here and go in this direction. think what I want to do is put a bit of a bead there. So I'm going to, while I've got this scraper here and it's a spear point, I'm going to actually want a sharper one. I've got one that's a little sharper for that purpose. I'm going to put just a bit of a V groove there where I want that bead to be. Okay, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to a little smaller gouge, and I'm going to just continue that curve into this shoulder. I'm back with the scraper to clean it up. You can see from the shavings I'm getting some nice cleanup. Okay, I'm liking that. Got a little bit of a tear out. A little bit of a tear out there. Clean that up just a bit. Right here. Before I scrape, I think I'll just spritz it just a bit, and then I think I'll take the scraper over to my grinder and redo that bevel. Okay, I want to show you just a couple of sanding details. First, there's this dowel cut in half down to the width of the paper, and you just wrap that paper around and tuck it in. You don't want to be putting your hands inside this cylinder. That's just asking for trouble. But by doing it this way, you can just maneuver this around, take it down to the bottom, and it's very easy. It's a quick way to get a coarse sandpaper down in there. I probably should have rounded off these ends just a little bit. The next trick is I made one of these sanding, I don't know what you call them, flop sander, sanding mop, but it's a bunch of lengths of strip sandpaper that came in strips from Klingspor in a bargain box. You just stack them up, drill a hole in it, and then put a 1/4-inch screw through it, back it up with a washer on each end, a couple of lock nuts, and then it threads into that 1/4-inch coupler. Let me show that to you. I think I've got another one here. Coarse rod coupler that it threads into that holds real well, and you can see how well that works. We're going to do this at low speed, but just go in there. Just go down the walls. And that'll give you a really nice surface. Okay, before we take this off and reverse chuck it, jam chuck it, I'm going to mark the center. This line is the bottom of the spatula pot. This is going to be the bottom of the pot itself. I'm going to go ahead and mark that line with a parting tool. Shape the bottom a little bit before I take this off. That's as far as I want to go. Let me go ahead and take that off. The only reason I'm using the smaller chucks because I got a piece of wood that I can use for jam chucks. I already got a tenon on it. I keep a box of these old tenons. It's an old, this is a walnut bowl that had a defect in the bottom. We're just gonna measure. Make it a little bit bigger and then ease into it. As I said before, you can anchor this one and keep this one away from the edge. Otherwise, it's liable to flick up and hit you in the forehead, and you don't want that. Run that at a low speed. They're just eyeballing about, and then make the necessary adjustment. And there we are. I'm going to use this same parting tool. Use my detail gouge to find this fit. Not quite there. That's a good fit. But in any case, we're going to bring up tailstock support to hold it. And we're going to just use a bowl gouge and waste this wood away until we have just a cone there. Before we get too carried away, I want to go ahead and shape the bottom of this. I want to round it over just a bit. And I'm going to look at it and decide if I want to put any additional detail down there. I think I will. I think I'm just going to put a bit of a band there. Ease into this just a little bit so that band will be proud just a little bit. Roll it over a little bit so I don't get the wings caught into it. Okay. Now we're going to go back to hollowing this, or taking off the bottom. And let's just fast forward through this waste removal. Back to making this little cone. Now I have a little spoon carving tool that will wind up cutting that off very nicely. we go. I think this is holding well enough that I can go ahead and do a little touch up. And there we have our spatula pot. Let me give you a close-up. I'll give you a close-up with some spatulas in it. If you enjoyed this, please click the like button and share it with somebody. If you make one of these, be happy to show pictures on a future YouTube video. If you're just starting out and you don't want something quite this ambitious, make a pencil pot. Just scale it down some. Still be a lot of fun.